For my presentation 3, I wanted to talk about how I deal with ineffective listening at my job. I am a dental hygienist, so I work with probably 9 to 10 patients a day. I'm doing a lot of talking, steering conversations, and just make sure our conversations are flowing throughout each appointment that I have. One of the things that I have noticed with patients that we kind of struggle with selective hearing or having a closed mind, especially in the dental office, just because it's not a favorite place that people like to be, and creating that trust and them seeing the value and why they're at the dental office is an important part of my job. So do a lot of educating and trying to teach people about brushing and flossing and anything that's going on with their oral health care. But when I initially try to talk to people, I do my best to look them in the eye just so we're both engaged in the conversation. This can be kind of tough at the dental office just because either the patient is laying down or I'm sitting up and we're not always looking directly at each other if I'm maybe behind the chair or at the computer. So how I like to change that outcome is just to position myself next to the patient so we're both looking at each other, taking 7 to 10 minutes to really talk about anything personal to kind of get that out of the way so we can create the good listening and communication before I start working. Another thing I notice is a lot of distractions that I deal with too. Being in a dental office, there's a ton going on, a lot of different noises and other people talking. So I can see how a patient can get distracted and distractive listening too. Dealing with that, I try to just focus on what's happening in our room, try to block out any outside noises and let the patient know that I'm engaged with them and hopefully that they are listening to what I'm saying too. If I have a patient that is closed-minded and selective to what I'm saying and I know they're not interested in what I'm talking about, whether that being brushing or flossing, instructions on how to do home care stuff, then that kind of makes me feel frustrated, like they don't care what I'm saying. So I try to still, at the end of the appointment even, engage looking at them in the eye, make sure they can see what I'm talking about, if that includes a demonstration or whatever. Otherwise, flipping that, I can see how sometimes I have the same selective hearing, especially with the distractions or the noises throughout a dental office. That kind of can play into how well I'm hearing, especially while doing my job, while trying to have a conversation and creating that relationship with the patient too. So I can see how on both ends there could be ineffective listening during my day. But with that, I just like to make sure every question is answered at the end of each appointment, that if there's any lingering things that might have been missed in our conversation that someone didn't effectively listen to, that those issues get addressed and everything.